And we're live, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you, Dina. We'll call this meeting to order. This is the special council meeting to deal with an issue. I'll ask if there's any disclosure of pecuniary interest. If at some point throughout the meeting you find that you do, please declare it at that time. Under new business, we have one item, that is the fire chief's report. So I will pass it over to the fire chief to speak to that report.
Thank you, Your Worship and members of council, and thanks to the Clerk's Department for accommodating this special meeting. Appreciate that. This is a time-sensitive matter, so I wanted to bring this forward quickly. So you have my report in front of you, but I'll quickly summarize how we arrived here. So as council is aware, the fire department is proposing to replace the 25-year-old aerial ladder truck that we currently have, and that's been in the 10-year forecast, 10-year capital forecast for many years now. So in preparation for this purchase, we've been looking at the needs of our department and the community, and we've established some specifications that we feel are very important to us. So in early September, commercial emergency vehicles, who we actually purchased our last pumper off of, they were doing a cross-country demo tour, and they brought a aerial ladder truck to our community. We looked at this ladder truck, and it was very close to what we were interested in. And after further conversation, they said they had something that they felt was exactly what we were looking for, and at the time it was in Quebec. So that unit, which is a 110-foot aerial platform, was brought to our town a couple of weeks ago, and we went over the specs and a very thorough demo, and feel that it is definitely what we need and what our community needs for now and well into the future. So this stock unit is for sale, and it is on a first come, first served basis. So I had a meeting with the CAO and treasurer. I explained the situation and discussed the feasibility of an an immediate purchase. So they supported this being brought forward for consideration. So we did a bit of market research to see what else was out there and see if we could find something that was similar in a similar price range. And we were unable to find anything that met our specs and fit into the proposed $1.4 million budget that we have in the capital forecast. So the other concern is we're being told to expect a cost increase for fire apparatus in 2022. And then the time that it takes to build a custom aerial is estimated to be 14 to 19 months at this time. So this is a great opportunity for the town to get a replacement aerial truck that meets our needs at a very favorable price and not have that lengthy wait time to have it built. Therefore, I'm seeking council approval to proceed with the sole source purchase.
Okay,
thank you.
Thanks, Chief. I'll open it up for any questions of the Chief. Councillor Belanger.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Bifulci. I'm wondering if the Chief, for interest of the public, obviously I agree this is an excellent opportunity. It was in the budget. But in going to the demonstration and talking to yourself and our Deputy Chief, I think it also represents significant more safety for our firefighters, given the platform and how the hose attaches and that type. So just for the sake of the public, I'm wondering if you could just say a few words about that detail. Thank you.
Okay, Chief.
Yes, thank you. Through you, Your Worship. Yes, this is certainly a step up, no pun intended, to what we have now. We have a 65-foot aerial ladder truck. This truck that we're proposing is a 110-foot platform. So the difference is working off a ladder versus working off a secure platform makes it much safer for the firefighters. There are many other safety features. There's a long list of new safety features that are included in vehicles, opposed to 25 years ago. So there's lots of things that make it safer for the firefighters. But the reach of this unit also prepares us for what's to come in our community. We're looking at some higher rise structures. So this enables us to service those, as well as make rescues from those upper units. And we just don't have that capability now. So all around, it is a much superior vehicle to what we have, and will serve us well into the future.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Kinney.
Thank you, Your Worship. I too took the opportunity to view the platform truck, and I'm well in favor of going forward with this. I mean, from an economical point of view, it makes common sense to get something as inexpensive as you can, if you can call that amount inexpensive, and we can't, but we're doing our best to try and get what we can. And from a safety point of view, just talking to yourself and to our deputy fire chief, it makes all common sense. I mean, who's kidding who? What would you rather be if you're in a burning building, jumping onto a ladder or onto a platform? And it makes it a lot safer for both our residents and our people that have to go in and risk their life to do your job. One of the things that was explained to me that I think a lot of individuals may or may not know, I'm circumguessing here, but you always think of a ladder truck, or in this case, a platform truck, going up to a building and getting somebody off the side. It was explained to me that with this extra reach, we can now get over top of our existing buildings and pinpoint fire aspects from above and extinguish them. So it's a far more efficient vehicle in every way. And as a result of that, as I said, Chief, I'm in favor of it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Foster.
Thank you, Your Worship. And I think the chief kind of hinted at it, is not only does it improve safety for our firefighters and therefore safety for the general public, but from the point of view of a town and where intensification still is the thought of the day, we're going up as opposed to out. So it allows a safe coverage of buildings that are taller, that may or may not be here right now, but it does allow that to happen. And again, I look, and as Mark had suggested, it's not a cheap price tag, but what does happen is it also avoids 14 to 19 month lag. And the other part that I think is, if we're going to be making this decision for a significant purchase, there's two options. We could delay and put it on to a following council, a subsequent council, or we could make the decision. And I know, I look at the previous term of council where they delayed things right at the end to make but I go, we have to make tough decisions from time to time, and I believe this is a tough decision we have to make, and it's big bucks. There's a whole plan as to how it's going to be funded. So I will be in favor of it moving forward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Watson.
Thank you, Your Worship. To the chief, I know when the residents of our town, or any town, get their insurance quotes on their residences, some of the factors that come in are you on sewer and water? Are you near fire hydrants? Do you have a full-time firefighting staff, which we have all of that in town? I was wondering if there would be some benefits insurance-wise to our residents as a whole by getting a new vehicle. I was shocked when you said it was 1997, that our other vehicle was 25 years old. I remember when that came into town, and there was a little outcry about buying it at that time, but it served the community well, and for our shared response with other municipalities also. So, but the insurance part is interesting to me, and maybe to our residents. Thank you.
Okay, Chief.
Your Worship, the short answer is yes. there are benefits to the residents as far as insurance costs go. I'll explain a little bit. So the Fire Underwriters Survey, they're a national organization, and they collect fire protection data from communities, and they provide that to insurance companies. Fire Underwriters sets a rating for the municipality, and insurance companies use that rating to establish the home insurance costs for residents. So, as you mentioned, they do look at a number of different components. So, like your water system, do you have municipal water? The number of fire department staff, are they full-time, are they volunteer? Your training program, your fire prevention program, number of fire stations. So there's a huge number of things. And one of those components is your equipment and fleet. And they have established an age of retirement for fire department fleet. And if you're not meeting that requirement, it can affect your rating and ultimately affect the the home insurance costs for the residents. We just recently went through a FUS survey, and it was about 3-4 months working with them back and forth, providing information. They had to get information from Public Works, our water system, and I just provided them with an update of our fleet, which if this happens today, then we will all send that update, and whether it actually changes the rating or not, but it certainly, if we don't replace this truck, it can negatively affect our rating, and then insurance costs could go up. I've always said, as a resident, taking my fire chief hat off for a second, I'd rather pay my portion for a new fire truck than give insurance companies more money. So that's kind of the way you look at it. It's an investment in our fleet, and ultimately, it's for all the residents.
Okay, thank you. Deputy Mayor Bray.
Thank you. I just wondered if our treasurer might comment that this purchase of a fire truck is not unanticipated. We have been saving through the reserves for a number of years because some of the money, of course, is coming out of the capital reserves. But I just wonder if Jocelyn could maybe speak to that.
Jocelyn?
Thank you, through your worship. Yes, we do have capital asset replacement reserve, and currently it is at approximately $12 million in that reserve. And we use that to replenish vehicles and heavy vehicle equipment as it comes up. And so that will be partly how we fund through this fire truck purchase, is through that reserve, and then we replenish the reserve with the payments over the next 5 years, the same as we would have paid had we debentured and borrowed the monies to purchase the truck. So yes, our capital asset replacement reserve is healthy and good for this purpose.
Okay, Deputy Mayor, did you have a follow-up?
Thank you. Yeah, just a follow-up to say that we buy public works vehicles, when we need them, because we know that we need to keep our roads plowed and our grass cut. I think we tend to discuss fire trucks a little bit more, whether they're more exciting, whether we buy them less frequently. I'm not sure why the reason is, but I do fully support this purchase. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other comments or questions? Okay, I'll look for a mover and seconder for the motion, please. Councillor Kinney and Deputy Mayor Bray, the council approved the purchase of one Pierce 110-foot ascending aerial platform, stock number 34740, from Commercial Emergency Equipment Company in the amount of $1,365,900 CAD as single source purchasing action for the reasons outlined in the staff report dated October 7th, 2021. And further, that the capital asset reserve and the development charge reserve be used to purchase the vehicle. And further, the annual capital asset reserve replenishing contributions are made each year in the amount of $225,000 per year for the next 5 years. Any final comments? All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you very much.
Moving on to bylaws and confirmatory bylaws. I'll just ask Mr. CAO to speak to bylaw 2021-83, please, as to why it's on this agenda.
Thank you, Worship. This was a late addition to the series of leases that members of council considered at the end of September. The tenant at 41 Beach Drive, Unit E, identified that he could use some additional storage space. We have some additional storage space in the lower level of 41 Beach Drive, and we negotiated a lease so that he could rent that space. So as I said, it was a late addition, and we're bringing it forward today for council consideration. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any questions of the CAO on that? Councillor Watson?
Thank you, Your Worship. I was just curious through you to the CAO. Is it my understanding that we have everything leased on the waterfront now, that all the units that are available are now under contract for this coming season?
Mr. CAO?
Yes, thank you. Through you, Your Worship, to the council. Yes, all the units are leased at the present time. Some are coming due at the end of this year, so they will be subject to evaluation and then review to bring forward to council. But at the present time, they're all leased. The ones, I think there are 3 that expire at the end of this calendar year, and there'll be a determination made whether they should continue or not going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a quick follow-up. I appreciate that, and thanks to Mr. Giuliano Duni for working on this, and all the team that works with them to get 100% occupancy, which I'm not sure if we've had that for a while now, but it's looking very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can I have a mover and seconder for this motion, please? Moved by Councillor Kinney, seconded by Councillor Belanger. Resolved that a bylaw to authorize the execution of a lease agreement, 41 Beach Drive rear storage, be received and be deemed to have been read a first, second, and third time, passed in number 2021-83. All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. And bylaw 2021-84. If I could have a mover and seconder, please. Councillor Kinney, Councillor Foster. Resolved that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Wasaga Beach at its special meeting held Thursday, October 7th, 2021 be received and be deemed to be read a first, second, and third time, passed in number 2021-84. All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. Thanks, everyone. We are now adjourned. Have a great day.